Before I begin, I would like to preface this by saying that this is, by far, the first time I'm writing something like this. I'm bringing thoughts that have simmered in me for a long time into a form that other people may enjoy. I also wish to say that I'm not involved in programming or designing any game to date. I'm only someone who enjoys video games as a means of spending my time. As to why? Well, here we go. First of all, I always enjoyed video games. I have played them ever since I can remember. My dad probably is at fault for that. Thanks, Dad. The first games I ever played, or at least attempted to play, were The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Super Mario 64 on the N64, a console I still own to this day, and those are the ones I can remember. My dad introduced me to them and well, I was hooked. Probably too young to start, but I'm glad that I did. I still remember when I first played World of Warcraft after anxiously asking my father if I was allowed to try it. It was 2006, I was 5 years old and he allowed it. Thanks, Dad. It was one of the best experiences I ever had in a video game. Sure, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I enjoyed it. This amazing world where I felt like anything was possible. And then my hour was up when my dad had to prepare for his progression rating for, I think it might have been Molten Core or AQ40. Side note, my dad was one of the best players of his time and was the second person on his server to get the best in slot staff for priests, so congrats, Dad. Anyways, I fell in love with World of Warcraft on that day, a love I still carry to this very day. Though at times it feels more like an abusive relationship than an actually healthy one. I then began a journey of experiencing many, way too many different games. I played the X series by Eaglesoft, GTA, The Legend of Zelda, Minecraft, World of Tanks, War Thunder, Overwatch, Call of Duty, and the list goes on. I have played games that made me emotional, that made me relax. I have been enraged and calmed. I have fallen in love with and despised characters. I learned to love video games as a whole. I own a VR headset and I play VR Chat, Beat Saber, Pavlov, and so on. And since then, I finally realized what made me fall in love with video games. Well, it's in fact 3 things. Let's start with the simple ones. Gameplay and story. A good game should be fun and engaging, and if a game is good at that, it really doesn't need much more. Sure, some games aren't as fun as others, but they're still beloved for their gameplay. Maybe the game has really creative mechanics allowing players to build whatever they want, or the game has a really comprehensive and engaging combat system, or it has just so many opportunities for players to shape the universe around them and to explore it. And for that, well, let's talk about the X series. The X series is a series of games that was created by Eaglesoft, a German company, and it is basically a sandbox game set in space in a universe of the far future. You can explore, you can fight pirates, trade and amass wealth, build stations, build giant armadas of ships to take on fierce enemies, all in an alive universe. No, except for X Rebirth, we don't talk about that one. Sounds amazing, right? And it is, deservedly. The game series has existed since the late 90s, like me, up to the most recent release in 2019, and while it has its flaws, it's great. And if you're able to pick them up on Steam, you should, definitely. The next element is story. Story is something that I really can identify with, and something that can save even the worst video games out there. There are games that exist purely on their storytelling abilities, and those games, sometimes rightfully, put aside gameplay. Who can't remember crying over a video game character they loved dying, or feeling this pride for a character's development in a story that can't really be explained. There are moments in video games where just mentioning them will bring up the cutscenes or dialogue, or at least the feelings you have when witnessing them the first time. Getting to know a character in a video game is like getting to know a friend at times. And while the events in video games aren't real, the emotions we feel and life lessons we take away from them certainly are. And now, let's talk about the final reason I love video games: the community. And before anyone decides to yell at me, I will admit there are bad people among us. Perhaps even majority of us are those bad people. I mean, when have you ever been in a game of Overwatch where everyone was really nice and genuinely someone you would want to spend time with? Not that often, I know, but not never. The community I mean is not every gamer that has ever existed or will ever exist. It is those who genuinely care about those that play with them, those that take the time to talk and build friendships with those around them. And those friendships are what makes video games the most powerful hobby I have. It is those people that are the reason I enjoy playing video games, and it is those people who understand the power and magic of video games better than anyone else, better than any critic or Kotaku writer, and I am happy that I found them. That is why I love video games.